Jeremy Lin along with James Harden. And at center, the most dominant physical presence in the NBA, the elite defensive big man, Dwight Howard. Then there's Chandler Parsons. And it's Ashik in at the 4 slot. And for the Jazz, pairing up in the backcourt, Trey Burke and Alec Burks. And in the middle, standing 6'11", 270, the talented scorer and rebounder out of Turkey, the big man, Enes Kanter. And it's Hayward, and it's Favors in at the 4. A jump hook, and Harden. And the nice bucket inside.
Well, James Harden, clearly one of the most potent offensive threats in the game. Can do it all. Pass, shoot with range, get to the rim. He led the league in free throw attempts last season with over 10 a game.
Now, here's Burks. Shoots a fader, and that one's good.
Still went down, but with no defense anywhere near him, he might as well just go straight up. No need to fade away.
Now let's go over to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Tyrone Corbin.
He said he certainly followed the rise of Jeremy Lin into a prime-time point guard in this league, and he told me we need to try to limit his penetration. That's where he's most effective, slashing and with the drive and kick. Guys, Lin has certainly been working to improve his outside shot, but sometimes you have to pick your poison, and they'll live with him shooting from outside. Back to you.
And thank you for that, Doris. Offensive rebound, 4 seconds left. Howard with the block. Harden the pass to Parsons. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. And Clark, you mentioned Harden, great at drawing fouls. He stays low. He holds the ball low. And when he brings it up, if the defender reaches, he just guides his arms up under theirs to draw the contact. It's a very clever move.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of players over the years do it. Kevin Durant has done it. Tim Duncan before that. Going way back, Sam Perkins used to make that move.
That's right.
It's really a tricky play, and it's tough to guard, but when you perfect it offensively, it's really a weapon.
And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Boy, we just battled through that initial impact and somehow willed it in.
Excellent concentration. That's what you like to see.
The Jazz shooting their first foul shot of the game.
They have a very average shooting team in terms of the free throw line, about 76% a year ago.
Houston might have made the playoffs in the West last season, guys, but it wasn't because they were beating up on their peers. They were 24-28 against the rest of the West. That's why they got the 8th seed.
Well, he's one player who can get hot in a big hurry. It's like he has an on-off switch, and once it gets flipped on, he's tough to stop.
You know, Steve, something else that jumps out at me about him is how often he thwarts penetration with his active hands. I mean, he gets a lot of his steals as players try to make their way to the basket.
Now here's Burke after Jeremy Lin's miss. 1:16 left to play in the first quarter. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Kanter. And misses it off the right side of the rim. You remember the Rockets last year when they were playing a lot of teams in the West near the end of the regular season. That was when they slipped, Steve, out of the 6th seed range down to number 8.
Well, of course, the West was really strong last year, Kevin, so it makes sense that you're going to struggle a little bit against all those good teams. But Houston ended up being the only team in the West to make the playoffs with a sub-500 record against the rest of the conference.
Here's Burke. James Harden picking up that last basket. Can't hit.
Look at the big man there. He knows how to go up and get that rebound.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Here's Ashik. The basket good off the assist from Lin. Ashik's got his first 2 points.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should really continue to work it down low, Clark. That's really going to free up the rest of their offense.
Burke dishes to Kanter, and it's sent back by Howard. Here's Lin. And so the first quarter is in the books. Rockets lead by... And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And looking at what we've seen from Houston, what do you guys think?
And I thought the defense was key here for this club. They really tightened up and made it difficult on their opponent.
How about the help on the drives and rotations? I mean, they've really been in sync as a unit.
Here is Harden after the made shot from Lucas. Harden gets to Beverly. Offensive rebound. Here's Garcia. Good D by Williams. Jazz trail by 6. Here's Rush. Back to Lucas. To the inside. And stolen by Garcia. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Well, guys, for Dwight Howard, a perfect fit with head coach Kevin McHale. So often, head coaches are former point guards, but in McHale, a Hall of Fame power forward. Howard has a coach he can quite literally see eye to eye with. And McHale is one of the all-time great post-up scorers. And for Dwight Howard, he said that was the biggest reason for his decision to come to Houston, saying, quote, "I felt he could really help me develop in the post." Guys, back to you.
Don't see many great back-to-the-basket big men these days, Doris. He is one of the best, certainly. And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets. Rockets leading by 4.
You know, you look at the flex offense that Utah utilizes, and it requires that players, one, be versatile and multi-skilled, but also that they have good basketball IQs. You need to be able to screen and read defenses effectively. And that's not easy, but it's certainly a good way to play if you've got the right people.
And here's Evans. After the three-pointer from Garcia, Evans kicks to Lucas. Lucas off a pick from Beatrice. 6 to shoot. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession.
Difficult to explain that turnover. I mean, I guess he thought he had more room than he did, but he really lost his place on the court.
Houston's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. And Clark, back to that flex offense you were talking about. Some players come into the league with the bad habit of standing around when they don't have the ball. Steve, that's not going to cut it in the flex.
No, it keeps you moving. It keeps the ball going. A lot of screening and cutting. It's a great offense, and it's difficult to cover. But I like what you said. It teaches the young players how to play as well.
And a first time out of the game called for Utah. .151 left in the first half of the game. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession.
Every year it seems some player has unfortunate experience of seeing their whole season gone before it even gets started. And that happened for Brandon Rush last year, who tore his ACL in just the second game of the season.
Now here is Garcia. Beverly, the pass to Harden. Another miss by Harden.
You know, when he has the ball outside like that, that's exactly the kind of D they need to play on.
Going back to Brandon Rush, hit from behind as he was in midair. And Steve, do you think more needs to be done to protect players in that particular situation?
Kevin, I think everything is already done to protect players because the clear path rules, the flagrant foul rules, everything has been done to protect the player's safety. Sometimes it's just inevitable there's going to be injuries.
You know, the Rockets did a lot to make over their backcourt last season as they brought in 2 big names in Jeremy Lin and James Harden. And that's not always an easy adjustment. Took a little time for both of those guys to figure out how to coexist in the pick-and-roll offense.
Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Smith. And Clark, as you said, it took some time for this Houston backcourt to learn how to play with each other, but that is the case for any duo. Eventually, Steve, they found a happier medium, and that initiated some great offense between them.
Well, they were much more effective down the stretch last season, Kevin, and I thought it really showed in the way Lin and Harden kind of played off of each other. So, you know, a lot of teams, they seem to want to have that second option for bringing the ball up or for attacking, and it is very effective to have a couple of guys who can each attack and create.
Shot clock at 2, and it's Evans missing.
He's one guy the defense is not afraid to leave open from that range, and for obvious reasons.
And that one's good. Beverly.
Giving them an opportunity at second chance points with some hard work on the glass there.
Now here's Lucas. Defense right on him. Favors. He's guarded by Howard. And that one's good. Favors has got 7 points in the game. There's 10 seconds left in the first half. And Beverly kicks to Harden. His three-pointers off the mark. And that concludes the first half. Houston on top, up 8.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
This is 2K Sports. I hope your week.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
The second half just about to get going here. One of the stories here, James Harden getting it done today.
Well, he created a lot of opportunities for himself in the first couple of quarters. And tell you what, he was smart with his shot making too. Really took good ones.
You know, points per shot attempted is really one of the undervalued stats in the game, and it's a real measurement of efficient scoring.
Yeah, when he's not blocking shots, he's altering them, Kevin, because he's just a constant presence and a threat defensively in the paint.
And you know what? He's a guy who will put some wood on you now. He'll throw his weight around. Bodying him up play after play can really wear you down. Well, you always hear about how loud this Jazz crowd is at home, and trust me, it is loud. They are a big part of why the Jazz have been so tough at home for so long, but the personnel of the Jazz has had something to do with that as well.
And he's good on the second. And as you said, the Jazz very tough at home as always, Clark, and 30 wins for them in this building last season, which usually, Steve, is enough to get you into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's an amazing stat. 30 home wins and you don't get in. Just shows you how difficult and how tough the Western Conference was.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Gentlemen, for the Houston Rockets, a remarkable rebuild process since 2009. They remained around a 500 team, trading for draft picks and young prospects, preserving cap space, and acquiring the elite talents of James Harden and Dwight Howard. They've become, once again, a contender in the West. Kevin, this is a young team poised to make some real noise.
The story of the offseason, no question. Thank you, Doris. Houston leading by 5.
You know, Burks is a shooting guard by trade, but last season, guys, he showed that he could handle the ball and run a team in a pinch. Not something you'd want him doing all the time, but it's nice to have that as a plan B or C if you need it.
Now a timeout called by Houston. And Burks, very quick and very athletic, even standing 6'6". He's able to stay with most point guards defensively.
Yeah, a bit of a late bloomer physically going into college at Colorado, but excellent athleticism. And I love the defensive versatility that he provides to their team.
Now here's Lynn. Harden left side. And that one is stuffed right through. Utah calls timeout.
Houston found their way back into the playoffs last season, but really it wasn't because they were a tough team on the road. They only had 16 wins away from Houston last season.
First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. Burke with it. Now the feed to Burks. It's stolen. Howard with a screen on Favors. Left side, Lynn. Lots of room. The shot no good. And Utah the other way now. And Clark, as you were talking about, the Rockets were...
How about that basketball, man? Beautiful. Wow. You know, sort of surprising he goes for a slam that difficult while they're trailing.
Yeah, but still, you know what? A magnificent move to the rim.
Guys, look, I don't know what the score is. That's the play we're all going to remember from this game.
Here is Harden after the basket by Utah. They get it back. A Sheik, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Great job. Take it right at the defense. I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah, he left them no choice but to foul there.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
Not the guy you want to see taking too many free throws. Last season, his numbers among the worst in the league.
And guys, that was an element of his game that he could not get turned around. I mean, he was really in a funk, and it lasted all season.
That one misses, so he goes 1 for 2.
Well, you know, guys, the Houston fans could be forgiven for not having heard of Umir Ashik when the Rockets signed him as their starting center a season ago. He was a second-round pick out of Turkey in 08, a backup in Chicago, but he's quickly shown himself to be a key piece of this promising young core.
And you have to give the Rockets credit for going after Ashik, a player who never averaged more than 15 minutes a game with Chicago, a restricted free agent with the Bulls, and became a very important part for the Rockets.
Well, they clearly saw something special with Ashik. He's a great rebounder and defender, uses his body, understands angles, and plays that verticality really well as a defensive center.
Now here's Lynn. Shot clock at 6. That one goes. Count it. Lynn's got 5.
Boy, that was impressive. Major height disadvantage, but he still got the shot up over his man.
Well, he's got the poise to handle any matchup, and he's not easily intimidated. You can see that there.
Burke with it, defended by Lynn. And that one's good. Burke's got his second bucket. There's 49 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Howard setting the pick for Lynn. Brooks pulls it in.
You know, not only is the game neck and tight, but the rebounding battle is too. Extremely close on the board.
Yeah, both teams have really put in a terrific effort down low.
Hayward with the ball, guarded by Harden. Hayward dishes to Burke. 4 on the clock. The three. That is good. Now just a 2-point Houston lead.
Well, you can sense the urgency with them now. I mean, right here, they're flat in the first half. They've come out here in the second half with a lot more fire and a lot more intensity. You can see they're driven to get things done. Some hang time on that rim puts a little whipped cream on that angel food cake there.
It's a tight ball game, and those displays of strength, Clark, can get one team rolling.
Agreed.
Oh, boy. Whipped cream, cherry on top.
Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Rockets.
Well, I got to say, one thing that stuck out all game is the consistent penetration they've got.
And they're getting the ball inside, which is what I like. High percentage shots down on the block and in the paint area.
The first one falls.
Well, really a promising young roster for the Utah Jazz team, guys. A lot of blue-chip talent there. I think in a couple of years, this team has a chance to be one of the best in the West.
Both free throws good from Lynn. And you got to give this Utah front office a lot of credit. You're right, Clark. They've only missed the playoffs 5 times in the last 30 seasons. Steve, that is a remarkable run.
What I like about Utah, too, Kevin, is that they seem to stay ahead of the curve. They make moves while they still have leverage. Dealing Carlos Boozer, Kirilenko, De'Aaron Williams. So they've done a good job of getting value, getting assets, and continuing to look ahead.
And that one falls for Favors.
Tell you what, you've got to give the Houston Rockets a lot of credit, guys. After losing their franchise players to injury and age back in '09, they've managed to rebuild this team without tanking for lottery picks or going all the way to the bottom of the heap. Very impressive.
Here's Smith. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And for the Rockets, they've been very shrewd acquiring undervalued players, trading for draft picks. Steve, all in the hopes of swinging big trades for superstars.
Well, and when they acquired James Harden, they finally got a cornerstone player. Now all of a sudden you throw in Dwight Howard, you've got another foundational player. So all these years of tinkering and trading and moving picks and moving players, it's finally paid off, and now he's got the team he was hoping to put together. And much more aggressive play has led to more free throw attempts for them here in the second half.
You know, that's how you do it, Steve. I mean, defender pressing up on you, you press right back, get into him.
Stolen by Jeremy Lin. Pass to Harden. And it's off the back rim, no good.
There's no getting around the simple fact that that's a shot he has to knock down.
Now here's Burke, defended by Lynn. Shoots from the line. It's rebounded by Houston. Ashik's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Parsons attacking. Ashik, great pass to set up the lay-in.
Good job threading that pass into the lane. I like his vision, guys. He sees everything.
Utah calls timeout.
They've been committing a lot of turnovers, and I imagine that's exactly what they're talking about right now. They need to tighten it up.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hi, guys. Over that break, I was able to catch the message Tyrone Corbin was giving to his team. He talked mainly about giving them a different look defensively and dropping more bodies into the paint, saying, listen, they're eating us up on the inside, and we need to do whatever it takes to stop it. Guys, back to you.
Dwight Howard, he's checked in for the Rockets. Harden the pass to Howard. Back to Harden. And out of bounds as Utah gains possession.
Oh, that certainly could be costly. In a close one, those kinds of mistakes can really give the other team momentum.
Now here's Burke, defended by Beverly. Williams kicks to Favors. 1:36 left in the game. Beverly dishes to Harden. He passes to Howard. Moves back up, and it's good on the way-in. And the Rockets lead by 5.
You got to put bodies on the glass right there. They just are not getting it done on the boards.
Yeah, they've got to do a much better job of going harder than that to the glass.
Utah calls timeout. They're trailing by 5. 1:25 left in the fourth. Burke kicks to Williams. He dishes it to Burke. Back to Williams. Just 5 to shoot. Utah needs to get off a shot here. Burke's shot is good.
Always a threat, guys. Three-point land that time was seriously expanded in the gym range.
Yeah, he's got the defense completely spread out now. I mean, they have to honor him practically when he crosses half court.
Timeout called the Rockets. They're up by 2. There's a minute left here in the fourth quarter. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Utah. Here's Beverly. Connects!
That is a clutch shot if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, very gutsy there. What more can you say? He got it done at the best time.
Now here's Burke. He's guarded closer. Sinks it. And he has brought them to within 2 points. And that bucket ignites the crowd.
Crucial bucket there. And you hear it in their reaction.
And you can feel the energy throughout this building right now. What a huge shot.
Beverly the pass to Harden. And he feeds it to Beverly. 5 on the clock. The high post shot. It's good.
They are not letting up, guys. They just keep coming out.
And I'd say that lead is too big to overcome at this point.
And the Jazz call time here. They trail by 4. 23 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Jeremy Lin, he's checked in for the Rockets. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. And plenty of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws coming up.
At the line for 2.
Good on the first, and that narrows the lead down to just 3. Both free throws good from Burke.
So clutch, guys. Those free throws turn this into a one-possession ball game now.
And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet.
That's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
Yep, you got to extend the game here. Try to keep that clock from moving.
Gets the first, and that makes it a 3-point lead. And so he drops them both. It's a 4-point ball game.
And thanks to those free throws right there, it becomes a 2-possession game.
The Jazz again can't hit it. And they stop the clock as soon as they can with the intentional foul. So the first one drops, and that puts them up by 5. Second one is good. Hitting both at the line, and it's a 6-point ball game.
No mistakes there. I think you can close the book on this one, guys. It's done.
It counts. So it's a narrow victory for the Rockets, pulling it out for the W. Well, they don't get